Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome back to the First Generation Aggies podcast, where we bring first generation students and alumni stories and resources to you. We're your hosts, Abel and Isaac, and today we're here with Christian Newton, who's a first generation freshman Aggie that ran for class president last semester, and he has some exciting news that he would like to share with us today about the future. Christian, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Awesome. Before we get into the interview, we would like to give all of our viewers, an update on the giveaway. So we had over about 35 comments on our giveaway video last week, and then we'll be announcing the winner later tonight. So by the time you're watching this video, you guys will definitely know the winner. We announced it on our Instagram live story, so make sure you're following us on social media to be on the lookout for stuff like that. So let's get back to the interview. One of the questions that we always like to ask our guests is an icebreaker question that we have prepared, which is, if you could have dinner with any famous person, dead or alive, who would it be and why? So who would it be, Christian?
If I could have dinner with any famous person, I'd probably be Dr. Ben Carson. For a few different reasons, mostly just it'd be so cool to spend more than actually. I would be fine with 10 seconds with him, but an entire dinner would be cool. Just to hear about like his medical experiences, but then also his political background too. So it's kind of the best of both worlds there. But I definitely pick him.
So now we're gonna get into Christian Newton, the person. So can you tell us a little about yourself, what you're majoring in, and what have you been interested in here at A&M?
So I'm a biomedical science major. I'm from Humble, Texas. That's like north of Houston. So currently, I'm involved in Biomedical Science Association, the vice president of records at Appelt Hall, where I live here, and I'm also in Fish Council, which is part of class councils.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the Pell Talk Council that you're a part of?
So it's just me and probably like 7 other guys. We meet like once a week and try to improve the hall. So one of the things we did last semester was we put like dry erase boards on the doors. So it's like things like that. Hall improvements is the main focus of community council. But
Awesome, that's awesome. Yeah, we definitely need some attention to the dorms, and we're glad you're bringing bringing that to it.
yeah.
So we know that you're a first gen student and you're the first one in your family to attend college. So what was that like for you coming out of high school, and how's it been so far your freshman year, especially running for class president in the fall? What was that all like?
Yeah, so it was interesting. So being a first generation student, I think probably one of the biggest things. I think it's different in a lot of ways compared to other students. I mean, I guess we're all in the same like starting place. Like we have no idea what's going on, but one of the biggest things I had to do, personally being a first generation student and not being too connected to Aggie land or not living in College Station or like growing up here, I had to self advocacy. I think was a big thing. I don't feel like no one was going to come up to me and tell me that I should do this or I should join this. But it was really what you want to do. You have to find a way to do it. I think you have to learn about your on your own and yourself. So I think it's one of the biggest things that's kind of like how I got involved in everything. Really.
And when did you know that you wanted to come to Aggie Land?
So originally, growing up like elementary school and middle school, I wanted to go to. I'm kind of embarrassed to say it, but I wanted to go to TU. That's because there was only one other person in my entire family really had been to college. So that my cousin went there, and so that was initially where I wanted to go. And then I went to my first Texas A&M football game with my best friend, who's my roommate now. It was like 2015. We went. It was versus Ball State, and it was so awesome. Oh my gosh, I think this is one of the things people always ask me. They're like, "How did you fall in love with the school over one football game?" But it was way more than just that football game. But
Those people haven't been to our football games, by the way. Sorry to interrupt you, but
exactly. But just going there, I mean, the spirit, the tradition, just the people. Honestly, you could tell that everyone had like a love for their school, their university, and each other, their state, and the nation. So that's probably one of the huge motivators for joining. It's just everything was. It's good because you come from like having no idea what you want to do to knowing exactly what you want to do and exactly where you want to spend the next 4 years of your life. So I think that was pretty clear for me after the first time visiting Aggieland.
I think part of the recruiting program for A&M should be to take high school students to a football game, because I guarantee, I guarantee applications will definitely go up for sure, for sure.
Exactly.
And I also wanted to ask, how's it been so far living on dorms and living on campus? Have you liked that
Oh man,
experience?
on campus is amazing. That's probably one of the best decisions I've made. I mean, I've met at least just hundreds of people. Honestly, I feel like in my dorm, just people from next door, floor above, floor below. I mean, you can know no one coming into here, and you're guaranteed to at least meet your roommate and the people across the hall. And just there's so many different experiences and so many people from everywhere. Honestly, that's probably one of the coolest things because a lot of your classes are like they're major specific. Like your people that love science, people that are from science. Some of the clubs are more like pre-professional based and stuff like that. But the dorm is, I mean, it's completely random. You know what I mean? Like these people from everywhere that want to do so many different things. So that's probably one of the best decisions I made was living on campus.
Yeah, and also you spoke towards it a little bit. That's something we see in FGA a lot. FGA a lot is the diversity that is really in Aggie land is all
Yeah.
the different faces you can see, and just in the organization. And I'm sure you probably have that similar experience in dorm rooms as well.
Yeah, I think that's something people really, when they think about our university, it's not the first thing they think about. You know what I mean? But I think there's still so many diverse people, and I think it's diversity. It's not like just the color of our skin. You know what I mean? Like it goes way beyond that, just from the different walks of life that we're all from, and some people are from rural environments, people from urban. It's just there's so many. I feel like there's so many different people. So that's one of the cool things that on campus is definitely given. But even just being here at Texas A&M offers.
Exactly.
And what was coming out of high school? Were you someone who was motivated towards going to college since your freshman year of high school?
Um, I knew I always had. I knew that you could do big things. At least I hope it's still that way. You can do big things with a college degree. So I knew that was something I definitely wanted to do, or something I definitely needed to do. Um,
Mhm.
but where I wanted to go was something that was always, I guess, like in the balance and what exactly I wanted to do, like major wise. Like I knew I always had a love for like helping people and talking to people and just meeting people. And I also have a huge love for like human anatomy, so try to put those two together. I have like career hopes of becoming a pediatrician, so that's kind of where that I knew obviously I needed to go to school, a lot of school, to do that. So that was something that I kind of had my mind focused on for a few years.
So we mentioned FGA in our organization, how we help first gen students and stuff like that. Could you tell us about some of the organizations that you're a part of and you're proud to be a part of?
Probably one of the biggest is I'm a part of Fish Council, which is within Class Council. So it's the basically the people that make the traditions happen on campus, like the class specific traditions. So it's a little like it's different than SGA. I think that's something that people are sometimes confused with. But it's basically the organization that the class presidents work through and their cabinets and their essentially the councils put on things like freshman year it's like Fish Fest and sophomore year Pullout Day, and then eventually senior year Elephant Walk. So it's something that more geared towards the idea of class unity, tradition, and representation. So that's probably the thing that takes up most of my thoughts and my being. I'm also in biomedical science association, so that's a pre-professional program for people that want to do either pre-medicine or pre-vet. So that's been a big part of my life as well. Those are the two main organizations I'm a part of now.
Yeah, definitely. And then that's one thing that first gen students and just everyone really should not shy away from. You could be a part of multiple organizations and make a difference. I think we kind of limit ourselves sometimes, like, oh, I want to join this org. That's it. Now I'll be this org freshman, senior. But no, you could be a man of many hats, man or woman of many hats, take on different orgs and stuff like that. So
Exactly.
yeah, it was nice to hear your perspective of how you're part of many, and I really recommend that to others as well.
Yeah, and that's what also college should be a part of is about trying different things and making sure that you figure out what you enjoy and what you don't enjoy also. Also wanted to ask about coming in your freshman year. I guess you were one of the probably hundreds of thousands of students across the nation who came in their freshman year online. And I wanted to ask how that's been for you academically and also running a campaign in the fall semester with
Yeah.
everything being virtual.
Academically was definitely something I wasn't quite ready for because we came off essentially a senior semester, spring semester of doing. I did a little bit of work. I took a few AP tests and finished some college classes. But you come off the idea of almost doing nothing for feels like 7 months of actually just doing nothing, and then being forced to sit at a computer for hours and like it's way more than high school. Like you're trying to get a college degree, and like, these grades are going to stick with me forever. You know what I mean? But then it's weird because I'm just on Zoom. So that was something that was definitely really weird coming into. I think it's helped me most get through that was something I feel like most people know about is the Academic Success Center. It's so good. Like you can get on, and there's so many tutors for I'm pretty sure every course. So that's something that helped me with that, and also just best way is still trying to connect with people like in my classes and my courses and stuff. And that's kind of what is bringing in the campaign type talk. But uh, electronic, I guess, campaigning was it's always based more I think over the phone. But I was still given a few opportunities to meet a good amount of people in person, but it was impossible to reach people. People that aren't on campus, you can't do that just by walking around and stuff like that. So you really have to dive into Instagram and social medias and stuff like that. So what I like to think about is like I started from zero essentially, like knowing not many people when I got here, and then being able to get to around like 400 something people voting for me. That meant a lot. It's cool because I would like to think that I talked to every single person that voted for me. I would like to think that if I didn't see them in person, then I messaged them on Instagram, I direct messaged them, or I tried to call them or texting. That was probably a big thing for me, is just getting to know the people that voted for me and that hopefully will vote for me again.
And what was it also like whenever you were coming in to getting into running for president? Was that something that you already had the idea of coming into
Um,
college, or did you fall into it in a
Something I've
sense?
always been interested in, I guess. I didn't realize the scale coming to university of over 65,000 and a freshman class of probably around like 13,000. So I didn't realize how big and like how much work it was going to be. But it was definitely it was a lot of work, especially like coming from, like I said, I came from a pretty big high school, but nothing will ever prepare you for a university like this, I think. But I think I got through it with the help of like my roommate and a lot of the people that were there to support me. But I definitely, something that would have helped a lot more is if I had more people to support me. Um, like initially, I think that's something that can help you through anything, not even just academically, but also like campaign wise. The idea of having people like close people to support you, I think that was something that helped a lot.
Yeah, and you've mentioned it a couple times about fish camp and also fish council. Can you talk a little bit about that, since I don't think we've mentioned it too
So,
much in
Fish
episodes?
Council is it's basically it's the freshman traditions council of the university, so it's within class councils. Um, so the big thing for that freshman year is supposed to be the idea of having Fish Fest. It's in April. It's kind of like a almost best way I can explain it, it's almost like a concert type thing outside, almost like a field day. And the idea is it's normally in front of like the 12th man like plaza area. I believe this year it's going to be in like on the Simpson drill field. So I think that's something that that's the main focus of it. And also, they come up with just the funding to have class gifts and stuff like that, and a lot of different things that people don't really think about their freshman year. So that's a big thing of Fish Go. It's one of the 20 flows I think we have on campus.
Mhm.
Awesome.
And
Cool.
also, my bad. Last thing I wanted to ask was about you were talking a little bit about self advocacy, and what was that like coming in? Well, how much did you have to do? How much work did you have to put in to get your
So
name out there and get
so
involved?
much work. I already talked about the electronic aspect of things, but flyers, flyers everywhere. I think that was probably one of the biggest things is flyers and just meeting people that like I came into this not having any connections or anything like that, or having any big organizations that I was already part of. I wasn't in like FFA, or I didn't have a my faith is pretty strong, but I didn't have like a huge like church base here or anything like that. Like there wasn't nothing that there was not much that I really started with. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I really had to. I feel like I had to work for every single vote. Honestly, like nothing was really I feel like handed to me. I think some connections came with more. Like I would meet one person, they'd introduce me to others, stuff like that. That was probably a big way I got through everything. But the biggest was just, I mean, just like wanting to know that I wanted to do that, and then putting in the work that I needed to. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
on the topic of the campaign, what is that like? I mean, from like Isaac asked, from day to day, what is it like? But more so, how do we vote? Is it all electronically now, especially with Corona and stuff like that? For
Yeah.
viewers who maybe have never even voted or weren't even aware that we have class presidents and stuff like this.
So first thing is there's so many rules for running, just about finances and timing and where you can campaign and where you can't campaign. But the way voting works is, let me get the exact date here. Hold on my calendar. It is February 25th and February 26th until noon on the 26th. So I think that's like probably next week. I think that's how the timing will work of everything. But it's all online, vote.tamu.edu. So it's really simple. But I think the biggest thing, and I feel like if I had to pick one reason why I didn't have the outcome I wanted last semester, was people didn't know how they could vote, or people didn't know if they could vote and when they could vote.
Hmm.
I met so many people, and I'm also like I'm worried a good amount of them still didn't even vote in the end just because they didn't know. So that's if there was one thing I wish more people knew about was the idea of voting. But that's the way the voting works.
And there's rounds to this. Is that correct?
So the way the class president election works, it's an instant runoff election. So there's rounds in a way, but it all happens at one time, like electronically. So long story short, I made it through. It's I guess technically it's like 14 rounds to the fact where there's only me and the other candidate. So I was technically runner up. I think I lost by around like 60 something votes, so like 7%. So I feel like I defeated a lot of the odds. Like that seems like such a
Definitely.
number to get, like a
Yeah, it's
huge
real
number to
impressive.
get. So.
Yeah, 7%. That's well within very close
I
race.
know it's
Um,
weird to think about. Like that's smaller than my classes. You know what I mean?
hmm.
That's smaller than my organizations. Like that is. I mean, that's one group me. You know what I mean? That's one.
Yeah.
That's a very small number, but.
Does that fuel you a little bit to next time you go out on the campaign, maybe go to a little bit more organizations or reach out a little bit extra?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try in the next coming weeks to meet with as many organizations as I can, especially the freshman organizations, the flows and stuff like that. That's probably a big thing I need to do. I think I did a lot of the right things last semester, but I definitely want to do a lot more of everything I did last semester.
All right. Do you have a personal favorite story or anecdote from whenever you were running the campaign, or maybe just a memory that really stuck with you?
Um, I guess if there was, I wouldn't really say a quote, but something that I really want to push is the idea of getting out, getting involved. It's kind of hard, especially now in this timing of day and everything being COVID and everything. But I think you still have an opportunity to connect with people, even if you're off campus. Try to reach out to some of the people in your classes, like even the Zoom chat works or GroupMe or whatever it is. We can't do this alone, really. I don't think you can make it through 4 years without meeting anyone else. Like that will destroy you, like emotionally and academically, honestly. So I feel like if I had one piece of advice, honestly, it'd be to get out and get involved. I don't think you need any kind of position or student government position or any kind of title to lead and to have an impact. So that's probably the biggest piece of advice, and I guess quote you could say I have to leave you with.
So regarding any upcoming projects and stuff like that, are would you be interested in running again for any student government positions, and if so, which, and what would you have to say on your platform?
Yes, so I'm currently running for the sophomore class president position. Same idea. I still have the drive from last semester of wanting to serve my class and unite, represent as best I can. I have a few ideas of possibility of joining the Student Government Association, SGA, maybe the Senate or some things like that. But my current objective is running for sophomore class president. So
Okay. And real quick, what change can you bring, and what's the change you want to see?
the change is just, it's really simple. I pick one word, just unification. Um, I also think that mental health is a big thing that we're all struggling with right now, especially when you spend hours and hours on a computer in your room alone. Hopefully, people have roommates, but if you don't make a connection with your roommate, then you sometimes honestly have no one. So I would say that the biggest change that I want to have is just unify people, connect people. I want to connect with people and also connect people with each other. So that's probably one of the biggest things that I hope to accomplish as sophomore class president.
Well, we really appreciate you taking out the time of your day to meet with us, Christian. Uh, we look forward to seeing your name on the ballot, and you know, possibly seeing you for sure take that position finally over this marginal loss that you took. But definitely gonna have a great comeback. I can already feel it. So
Hope
before we,
so.
yeah, before we let you go, we always ask our guests if they would have a favorite quote and one that they try to live by. Do you have one in mind?
Yeah, so this one's, it's kind of simple, but they said it every morning on the announcements in my elementary school. It's make it a great day or not. The choice is yours. I think a lot of people and a lot of things will come into our day that try to not just like one day, but every day, honestly, try to steer us away from having a good day and steer us away from our accomplishments and our goals. But ultimately, in the end, it's us. We have the way, we have the decision to choose how we want to react to those things that affect us. But I have to say that's probably one of the things that I try to live by every day.
Yeah, Christian, thank you for being here. We're honored to have you on here. And remember, guys, to go vote on it was the 25th and 26th, correct, of February?
Yes, exactly.
Perfect. Remember, guys, to go vote and that your voice matters and you can make a change even if it's just here at A&M as well.
Definitely, definitely. And also, before we let you guys go, a quick shout out to our sponsor, Northwest Drive Trailer Services, located in Houston, Conroe, Texas. They offer a wide variety of semi truck parts and services such as drive shaft repairs and transmission and differential rebuilds. So, if you or someone you know owns a big rig, be sure to tell them to check out Northwest Drive Trailer Service. Last but not least, do not forget to wear a mask, wash your hands, social distance, and gig 'em, Aggies.